Netflix, where your fearless co-hosts Isaac and Larry force each other to watch the worst pieces of shit on Netflix. We will go over every bad edit, all the broken dialogue, all the wooden acting, and laugh along the way, because this is the Bowels of Netflix! Alright, welcome to the Bowels of Netflix. Here we are again for episode 8. And my name is Isaac, and with me as always is my beloved co-host, Larry. How are you doing this week, Larry?
Better than last week. I feel a certain catharsis, as if a great weight has been lifted off my shoulders and brain.
You had a purge from getting out from under Code of Honor, I guess?
Yeah, with no Steven Seagal, my life is suddenly a million times better.
I watched the end of that movie once, and I need to watch it again.
Yeah?
I have no idea what happened.
So you're in the same boat as me, right?
It's so bizarre.
Doesn't make any sense.
I'll be going over it with a fine-tooth comb, because I need to know.
It really, I was not kidding at any point. Also, how funny was that shoulder tackle through the fucking window?
It's so stupid. Oh my god. Good Lord. But this is the Bowels of Netflix. Maybe you're just getting started. Hopefully you've been with us for the long haul. But this show, well, basically we hate each other. So every week, one of us picks for the other person a terrible movie they found in the stinky bowels of Netflix. Forces them to watch it, and then they describe it back. So this week, Larry has made me watch The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas.
Now,
and it's bad. It is bad.
Now, I was thinking back, I only watched like the first 2 minutes of it to know that that's all I needed to get you to have to suffer through. I can't remember if it's this one or the first one that I've seen, but I've seen at least one of them.
You don't remember any Vegas stuff? Casino?
No, I was a child.
Okay. This movie was made for children, mostly.
Yeah, it certainly was.
There was a 1994 version that starred John Goodman and Rick Moranis as Fred and Barney.
Yeah.
And that one was somewhat successful financially, not particularly successful in any other realm. This movie came out in the year 2000, completely different cast.
What year did the first one come out?
First one was 94.
94.
Yep. Second one, so yeah, and the other one was 2000. So
6 years in between a movie and a sequel. Now,
well, it's a prequel technically.
Oh, it's a what?
Yes, because they wanted to do a sequel, but John Goodman said, "Fuck this shit. That was a disaster. So you guys can eat some dicks."
They held onto that property for 6 years, and didn't. Wait, I'm confused. Okay, so what do you know about the Flintstones cartoon? Because I know very little.
Not much.
I've seen a bunch of it when I was a kid.
First sitcom cartoon that ever existed on actual television.
It's very old. It's old enough that they did cigarette commercials with the Flintstones.
Yeah.
Which, if you've never seen them, you fucking watch them. They're incredible.
I think it came out in the 60s, and it was initially kind of a spoof on The Honeymooners, the sitcom from the 30s or 40s or whatever. Mm-hmm. And the interesting thing, because you know the Great Gazoo, correct?
Yeah.
He's the little alien.
Yeah.
He was only in the last half of the last season. And this, I think, was the first time a show jumped the shark. Because it was like, well, fuck it, we don't know what to do. How about a little alien only Fred and Barney can see?
Like, wait, Barney can see the Great Gazoo?
Well, in this movie he can. I think maybe, I don't know about the show. I haven't really ever seen the show.
Huh. I saw a bunch of episodes when I was a kid, but I mean, it's the Flintstones. It's not particularly memorable. But I guess we have to remember that we may be catering to a slightly younger demographic. So do we need to explain the basic premise of the Flintstones? Because I assume...
Yeah, I'm going
to go out on a limb and say Viva Rock Vegas does not give you a particularly detailed backstory.
No, it's kind of the origin story, almost. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just generally, it's in Bedrock, which is this weird Stone Age town, and dinosaurs and people coexist, which, if you don't like science, that never happened in the real world. just in TV land and some versions of the Bible, I guess.
Yeah. Do you ever see the ads for the Christian theme park? I think it's in Florida.
Yes.
Where it's got the dinosaurs with saddles, and it's great.
It's so ridiculous.
It's the best.
But yeah, and a lot of the gags are that they use animals to do different things. Like Fred works in the rock quarry, and he rides a brontosaurus, which picks up rocks in its mouth, and I don't know, dumb stuff like that.
Yeah, like the garbage disposal is it'd be like a tiger or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, and they have the car, which is powered by your feet, which stick out from underneath it. Mm-hmm. So if you ever heard of that gag but didn't know where it came from, it's the Flintstones.
I don't know a lot about music. I love music, but I don't know a lot about it. But I feel like I hear a lot of yabba dabba doing in rap.
Actual yabba dabba doing?
Yeah, like I feel like I hear, maybe I'm just thinking of one song, and because I'm a 55-year-old man, my brain just overrode it.
Is this that Purple Drank rap where they're
Probably.
Just shit-faced all the time and just mumbling?
I don't know.
Open the close the yabba dabba do and get the hose on my dick too.
And now welcome to our side podcast, Rap Corner. This is a very strange room we've built with various different corners.
Yeah, please be very careful when you spell Rap Corner. Don't add any letters.
Yeah, you don't want to make it Rap Corners.
All right, so some of the nitty-gritty details of this movie. IMDb score was 3.6. That's among the lowest of low. Mm-hmm. Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter, the critic aggregated score is 25%. And this is a first because the audience aggregated is 20%. So the audience was more disappointed than the professional movie critics.
That's a bad sign, folks.
Although no one was happy.
No. I mean, that's less than 25% is a quarter of the people who saw it.
That's really bad. Like, probably Dislocated Shoulders have a better approval rating. Now, the first movie that came out in 94, the budget was $46 million, and its worldwide gross was $228 million. Wow. So it made pretty good money.
Okay,
yeah.
I guess making a sequel did make sense, even though it was 6 years later.
On paper, yeah. And even though it was not reviewed much better, this movie, the budget was $83 million, so they went all out on it. And worldwide, it grossed $59 million. So it lost a lot of money.
Yeah. What's that, 33? I missed it. 30 odd million dollars. Yep. Just gone. Just gone.
Yep.
It's gone.
I bet a couple people got their shoulders dislocated over that loss.
Yeah, they had to shoot and kill some sound guys out in the desert.
But, oh yeah, this movie is just constantly every bad, stupid thing you could do with a movie. That just is a groaner, or you've seen it a million times. The
Flintstones is not a particularly diverse property. You can you can put pretty much all of the Flintstones jokes into about 3 episodes, really.
Yeah, that is very true.
The best part is the secret order of the water buffalo and the dance he does when he goes bowling, and that really is the only part worth watching.
That is very briefly addressed, where like he and Barney look at each other and mention it, and that's all they do. And they make like a little hand gesture or something.
It's probably in the first one. I don't remember. God, it's really weird to think that John Goodman, who is like to me, he's like a world-class actor.
Well, this is 94 when he did it,
yeah.
So he was not nearly that big a name. He had been on Roseanne and been in a few. I think Barton Fink came out before this.
I never saw that. Is it good?
It's weird, but it's good. I mean, it's Coen Brothers, so.
Yeah. And I believe... I won't steal your thunder. I'm sure you're going to talk about it, because you blew my fucking mind with the fact... When we first talked about this movie, the fact about the main actor, the new Fred.
Yes. The new Fred, and all things considered, he did a decent turn as Fred. I'll give him credit. I mean, it's not great, but... It's okay. It's
not a particularly meaty role. I don't think it requires a lot of chops, if I'm remembering correctly.
But it is played by Mr. Mark Addy, who you might know as the man who portrayed Robert Baratheon in the Game of Thrones television show, which is a weird juxtaposition.
Yeah, I can't.
And I mean, this is quite a while before that, and Robert Baratheon is this big, bushy, bearded, long-haired man, like red in the face and drunk and angry all the time. And Fred Flintstone's shaved and got a fairly short haircut, and he's 15 years younger. So usually you don't notice it, but every once in a while, like, I'll just be confronted with, oh my god, that's Robert Baratheon, what's going on? Also, Mark Addy, I found out, was in the British movie The Full Monty, which is about unattractive dads stripping to make money so they don't lose rights to their children.
What the fuck?
Or something. But yeah, it's a really funny movie.
What in the
But
world?
that came out in the late 90s, I think. But you should see that. It's fun. I watched that with my mom when I was like 12. I had a weird childhood.
You really have. Every story... I mean, I met you when you were well approaching full womanhood. You had blossomed. I didn't really have a joke there. Now I feel like I'm offending people.
Well,
just cut it. Just
blossom like a girl.
Just cut my track. Just have you talking to thin air. That'd actually probably be pretty funny. If you just had just call it like the what's the word? The schizophrenic cast.
Schizophrenic corner.
Yeah. We've got so many fucking corners.
You're gonna need like an oddly shaped room.
Yeah, like a fucking MC Escher.
Right. Okay, so we start off strong because we see the Universal logo, but it says Universe Shell.
How?
As in,
that's what?
Yeah.
What about that as a Flintstones pun?
Is it? I mean, their money is clam shells.
Oh, wait, are clam shells particularly prehistoric, or are they just trying to? Did some intern think of the primordial soup and that became the whole running gag? Because that's all I can think to make the two connect.
Option B, definitely option B.
All right.
So we pan out from the Universe Shell logo to an alien spaceship parked in Earth's orbit. There's a bunch of little green aliens with big bulbous heads, and we meet Gazoo, who's somewhat of a dunce. He's kind of the loser of the group. And the cool kids assign him to Earth duty to study the mating process of humans.
Oh.
Yeah. Now we cut to Fred and Barney at the
Come
rock
all
quarry.
over his face.
They're preparing to take their big tests to get their jobs or whatever. And there's a dumb gag where Fred says, oh, well, everyone else is going to do bad, but I'm going to study all night tonight, and I'm going to ace the test. And then Barney looks over at him and says, but Fred, the test is today. I don't know why it sounded like the Andy Griffith guy, but whatever.
Barney face.
That's my Barney voice. Just deal with it.
I used to have a pretty decent voice. What's the actor's name? I can't think of it. I used to call my dick the actor's name.
What?
I can't think of his name. What the fuck is his name? He played Barney Fife in the Andy Griffith Show. Shit. Why is there so many ostriches?
Dippy Slapstick?
I'm sure said there'd only be a few ostriches. What the fuck? I'm gonna have to look that up.
So, but yeah, Fred passes his test anyway. Okay.
What was the point of that then?
I know. There's just so many random dumb jokes that don't set anything up or go anywhere. They're just shoehorned in. Like this one. Barney has to...
Don Knotts!
Oh, right. I wanted to say Don Rickles.
You know what? I think
close.
I think you made the voices because both characters are named Barney.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Could be.
So Barney has to take a suppository thermometer into a giant dinosaur's ass.
For kids.
Yeah, and they don't show it.
What is this movie rated, by the way?
I'd guess PG.
Because I don't remember which one I saw, but like one of these movies is like kind of weirdly sexual. Because there's like a cheating storyline, if I remember correctly. There's like a hot cave woman who's trying to trick Fred into banging her. Yeah,
that's not in this movie.
Okay, maybe it's
there's
the first
some sexual stuff, but it's It's like kid show sexual, where it'll go over kids' heads pretty easily.
Okay.
But it's for the adults in the room.
Stop interrupting, Beard. What's wrong with you?
But yeah, when Barney puts the thermometer in the dinosaur's ass, we get a fart, which physically blows Barney away by several yards. And the dinosaur looks around with terrible CGI from the year 2000 and says, "Hey, I got 3 stomachs. Cut me some slack."
Oh, that was... Oh. Hey. What the... Is that, so does more stomachs equal more farts? Do farts come from the stomach?
Well, cows have 5 stomachs and fart a lot.
Okay.
So there's that.
All right.
But I don't know if we know how many stomachs dinosaurs had. I was wondering that, because that might be hard to tell from fossils. Anyway. Paleontology corner. Wilma. We cut to Wilma at her opulent estate, which her bitch of a mother is being a rich, snobby piece of shit. And she's played by Joan Collins, and... I don't know. I mean, it's a terrible role, and the dialogue is terrible, but Joan Collins plays that role well, I guess.
Who's Joan Collins? Somebody I should know.
I don't know. I forget what she did, but she's old-timey, been in the business forever, and everyone loves her.
Okay.
I'm not really familiar with her stuff.
Fair enough.
I think she's still alive. I checked that, because I'm curious. So yeah, Wilma stares off longingly into the distance, yearning for a different life, but unsure what such a life would even look like.
It looks a lot like Robert Baratheon.
Now we meet Chip Rockefeller, the handsome, rich... I know. I'm using the real names for almost everyone, because they're so dumb.
They didn't even change the name. They didn't have to.
But yeah, he was first in his class at Princeton University.
Yeah, okay, I was going to ask about that too. So the Flintstones famously have like pun names for everything that are typically rock based, because that's all there was back then. It was just rocks. There was no iPods. There was no dildos, vibrators, dragon dildo. What? Stop
reading your search history.
How dare you correctly guess that? You ever seen a dragon dildo? They're hideous.
Yes. Well, not in the flesh.
No.
But, well, and when I say in the flesh,
it's going to be the thing that kills me.
But we find out that Chip Rockefeller from Princeton University wants to give Wilma a stone of his own, if you will. He wants to fuck her.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay. But Wilma's like, you can fuck right off with that snobby cock. I don't want it. Wilma's at a bridal shower. One of the other women says that when Wilma marries Chip, they're not actually engaged. I think they used to date, then they broke up, but the mom's trying to get her to marry him because money. But one of the women says when Wilma marries Chip, she'll be just like her mother. And then we get a close-up on Wilma's face as she screams with ridiculous amounts of echo and reverb, and then we cut to her fleeing the estate at the very thought of becoming her mother.
Yeah, it sounds like most teenagers.
And now we get... Well, I guess she's played by, what's her name? Kristen... Oh, fuck, I gotta check. I should know her name. Johnston, I think? Kristen Johnston?
What you're gonna learn as this series goes on, ladies and gentlemen, is that I know practically nothing about actors and actresses or movies. just kind of a schlub who likes to talk about shit. Did I know her from anything?
Yes, she is the, I guess, female lead in Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh,
that weird sitcom. And I loved that sitcom when I was 11, 12, so I have a bit of a personal sexual history with Kristen Johnston. We'll put it that way.
Do you... Well, you and I kind of have a weird history with that show. Not a whole lot, but...
I forget this even.
When you and I used to live together, and my best friend used to be our roommate, and at one point we were all scrolling through Netflix or something, or Hulu to watch something, and Third Rock from the Sun came by, and there were always commercials on for it on the Hulu shows. That's what it was. We'd watch wrestling, and there'd be commercials for it. Okay, now it's coming back to me. And we talked about it, and the commercials were not super explicit, and one day you were talking about how much you liked it, and... a bit of your sexual history with it, but I mean, that's not... You had a lot of sexual history with a lot of things. And
That's true.
I had seen it as a kid, but I had no recollection that they were aliens.
Oh, right. I forgot about
like, that's
that.
the main point of the show.
Exactly.
Like, that's...
So you just thought there were a bunch of really weird people.
Like, all my memories of the show, when you were like, you were explaining to me they're aliens. I'm like, no, they're not. Don't, you can't fool. You can't, come on. It's like, imagine you remember watching, like, I don't know, Superman, and forgetting that there was a superhero show. That's what happened.
Also, that show stars a very young Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think he was like 12 or 13 when it started.
Yeah, it's weird.
But yeah, it's interesting to see that.
Also, John Lithgow.
Yeah, he's great too, and French Stewart is goofy. He's okay. Right, so where were we?
Sorry, I didn't mean to get you off track with...
No, it's all good. Anytime we can go into, like, my sexual development as a preteen, I'm all for it.
We really could do a podcast just about that.
Yeah, Isaac's sexual development as a preteen.
I mean, I definitely have some stories of my own to share there, not related to your sexuality, although a few are.
Well, not sure how much this should be shared with the world, but the first time I learned I could come was in a hot tub. And I was like, oh my, what is this? And where is it going?
Oh god, I pity the poor pool scooper who had to scoop out your, like, congealed cum the next morning out of the hot tub.
Oh,
what in the world? How old were you?
Like 11 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just the very beginning of masturbatory experience. It was like, I touch penis feels good? Okay, I'll do that. Anytime no one's looking.
I think that's a lot of people's, at least men for sure, the ones I know. I think that's a lot of their stories.
Definitely.
Wild.
But yeah, hot tub is the primordial soup.
I'm going to let it go a couple more episodes before I talk about my first experience. Just to make sure that anyone of my family definitely stops listening.
Good.
Because who would have fucking listened to this, really? Because, yeah, I can't. Most of the people involved are dead, but...
Okay, so now we cut to Fred and Barney. We get the gag where Fred says, I believe you gotta go out and make things happen. It's not like something's going to drop out of the sky and change your life. So
what drops out of the sky and changes his life? Is it a bag of money?
Gazoo's spaceship.
Oh. Right, great Gazoo.
Crashes next to them. Some slapstick ensues as they open things up, and Gazoo pops out, and he teases the boys and calls them dum-dums, and he calls them dum-dums throughout the movie, and they get offended, and I hate it. It's bad. We cut to a burger joint with waitresses on roller skates, which really should be more of a thing. I'm disappointed that kind of fell out of fashion. But
it sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen. I think some Sonics do it.
Yeah, I've been to one or two, and I enjoy it, but it just makes me sad that it's, not more common. Anyway. So all the meals are intensely stylized, like Stone Age props, like everything in this movie. That's where the $83 million went. The prop guy went hog wild. But it just looks weird and obviously inedible. I don't know. So we see Betty, who's the waitress, and Wilma shows up. She's kind of lost in low-class society. Remember, she ran away from the estate, and she's like, fuck it, I hate Chip, I hate my mom, I want to be poor. But she doesn't have any money with her. So she asks for a glass of water, and there's confusion. So Betty assumes that Wilma is homeless and broke. And within about 30 seconds, they're best friends and roommates, which is actually how Larry and I met. He came up to me and assumed that I was broke and homeless and asked me if I wanted to stay at his place. And, where the story goes.
I usually don't talk to poor people, but you just looked so damn pathetic. I felt like I had to reach down from my pedestal and just lift you up to smaller, but still above the rest of the rabble pedestal.
I was picking a penny out of a urinal at the public library, and, I guess that's a pretty low point in your life.
Well, once I had stopped pissing on the penny, I said, okay, even I have my limits here.
Gazoo shows up at Fred and Barney's house, and because comedy, Barney falls from the top bunk and lands on Fred, so it looks like he's railing him right in the ass with 8 inches of hard rubble. And Gazoo
You
is
made
delighted.
that pun. You did that.
Oh, yeah, I know. I did.
Let the record
Gazoo is
show
delighted.
that Flintstones pun was you.
The only good one. He asked them to continue demonstrating the mating process for him. At which point, because this movie came out in the year 2000, they vigorously protest the fact that they might be gay, because being gay is just gross. It's just gross. Ugh. Oh. So, fun stuff.
Yeah.
We cut to the burger joint, where now Wilma is working with Betty, and the overplayed gag for probably like 8 minutes, I don't know, is that Betty is very good at her job, and Wilma's very bad. So we have shots of Betty doing twirls and spins, juxtaposed with Wilma, out of control, her arms flailing, dropping food, and cue up your stupid, goofy, clumsy music.
Stoofy. No, definitely. That's a new category. Stoofy music. Stupid, goofy, clumsy. Yeah, no, it's perfect, actually.
Yeah, actually.
Now, I know in the first movie, Betty was played by Rosie O'Donnell. Does she reprise her role here?
No, but there's a brief cameo of Rosie O'Donnell that's interesting.
Weird.
That I just learned about, actually.
Weird.
But it's played by Jane Krakowski?
Oh, I know her vaguely.
Yes, she's in 30 Rock. That's her big thing of more recent times.
Is that who you were talking about? I thought that was who played Wilma. I'm sorry. Oh, 30 Rock, Third Rock from the Sun. Okay, you see what happened there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I scrambled your brains.
A little bit.
Yeah, she has a super mousy face, kind of. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
In the Flintstones cartoon, Betty's, she was well, I guess I'm not going to spoil this fucking 18-year-old movie, but her only real bit was going and Rosie O'Donnell is able to pretty much reproduce that laugh, which is the only reason she was cast as Betty in the 94 one, so.
Yeah, this actress does pretty well with that, although she definitely has some other stuff going on for her, too. I mean, not really, but
now
she has lines.
This also brings up an interesting point. Now, what's your type of woman, Isaac? The mousy-faced, sort of quick-on-her-feet skates waitress girl, or the rich socialite, clumsy, doesn't know how to interact with the public gal? Like, who do you swing for?
Anything with a pulse, honestly.
How is your wife?
Oh wait, hold on. Let me go check her pulse.
Jesus, we're awful people.
No, but my point is that I don't have a specific type. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, like I have some preferences, but like it's not like, oh, you have a mousy face or you don't have a mousy face. I could never be with you, or I couldn't be with you because you're Chinese or 8 feet tall. Like, I could love anyone, man. I'm a lovable guy.
That much is true. That I can definitely confirm.
I'm picturing an 8 foot tall Chinese woman with a mousy face, and I'm getting kind of turned on.
So basically, Brienne of Tarth with Chinese eyes.
Oh god. Okay, so
this podcast is going to be used as evidence against us one day.
Oh yeah, we're going down. These are RP tapes.
Yeah,
we'll be sitting in a court of law, and the judge will just be shaking his head, saying the maximum sentence is 30 years, but I feel like I need to make an exception.
Oh god.
So now we find out Fred and Barney are the only ones who can see Gazoo, because Fred is yelling at Gazoo, but an old man thinks he's yelling at him, and there's confusion, and it's stupid.
Why is that?
Why they can only see them?
Yeah, why can only they see Gazoo?
Not explained. He's an alien with powers, and he only wants 2 people to see him, I guess. I don't know. So Fred asks Betty out at the burger joint without saying a word. She comes over to take his order, and he leans over to Barney and says, "Oh, watch how it's done. I'm gonna get a hot date with this hot lady." And he just stammers and is like, humana. He actually says humana.
Jesus.
But Betty, and yes, Betty, not Wilma, and I got confused for a while about who was supposed to go with who.
Huh.
She figures out what he's looking for and accepts the date.
You're sure this isn't like just a Flintstones porn you accidentally downloaded? Because A, I both know that exists, and B, I'm sure that there is a four-way with these characters in that movie.
We'll probably be able to decide when we get to the cum shot scene. I mean, what?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and she offers Wilma up to Barney, and we see Wilma in the background, like, dropping a hamburger or something.
Clumsy bitch!
We cut to their date at the fair, and there's bad CGI dinosaur roller coasters. Like, the dinosaurs, I guess, are sucking on each other's tails in a big circle. There's 4 of them. It's like a fucking circle jerk. And then there's cars riding up and down their backs, necks, and tails. It's really weird.
Okay.
And so they're goofing around, and Barney and Betty notice each other, and they connect over their laughs because they're similar. I don't know. And they immediately fall in love and run off together.
Okay.
I know. Fred and Wilma are just kind of shrug and go bowling. Fred gets a 7-10 split, and then complete with the twinkle toe dance where he rises up on just his toes like a ballerina.
God.
And a slide whistle. And he picks up the spare by breaking the ball in half.
Of course.
And each half goes to each pin.
Adaptations are so weird to me.
I know. Once you start out with the cartoon, you can't go back to real life. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because it's inherently going to be a shitty, stupid movie. You can't escape that.
And I mean, like, what is the plan? Is it the plan for, like, in the theater, people are going to stand up and cheer because Fred's doing the Twinkle Toes scene from the cartoon that the people there probably watched when they were 5?
Well, no, the plan is was released in 2000, and fucking baby boomers who watch this as children now have children of their own. So it's a nostalgia money grab because it's family friendly and it's fucking marketing Hollywood cesspool bullshit. Sorry, I'm angry.
Yeah.
So yeah, Fred next teaches Wilma how to bowl, and it gets all sexual and like a Happy Gilmore. It's all in the hips kind of way. And they're in love. That's it. It's easy breezy.
In love? Or like...
like, while they're doing... He's showing her how to bowl. They get in slow motion, and Wilma has this, like, look on her face, and their hair is blowing, and... It's fucking dumb. Everything bad, possibly, about a movie.
I hate movies for families and kids.
I know. So, Fred and Wilma are on a Ferris wheel. Gazoo shows up. Wilma can't see him, but Fred can. He tells Fred to close the deal so he can witness them fuck. And
fuck
get
her,
off
Fred!
the stupid planet. Exactly.
Yeah,
quick! You're at the top of the Ferris wheel. Put it in!
Are you familiar with Rob Lowe?
Oh, it's played by Alan Cummings.
Oh, really?
Yes. Who has another role in the movie later, too.
Oh, God.
He's... God. So there's some goofy romantic awkwardness as they're about to kiss. But just before they kiss, the egg that Fred won at a carny game, it's like this big egg. And the joke is, oh, I hate winning these things. They die within a week, like goldfish, whatever. As they're about to kiss, Dino pops out. And that's his origin story. And he starts smooching Fred all over the face until Fred falls out of the Ferris wheel and 6 inches into the ground. He's in an impression of himself in the ground.
So... Dino, what kind of dinosaur is Dino?
He looks like a little brontosaurus, but apparently brontosaurus isn't even a real dinosaur.
Yeah.
We were just confused.
Oh, man. Dinosaur archaeology, like, back in the day, used to be super cutthroat. I heard a guy talking about it. Like, yeah, there was, like, 2 archaeologists who had this crazy competition for who could find more, and the one just started making up dinosaurs, just started jamming bones together, and the other one, who, like, was honest, like, died in disgrace.
That sounds like, what's his face? Edison and Tesla.
Yeah.
That story is weird, too.
Now, Dino, for those of you not familiar with the Flintstones franchise, he's basically like a dog.
Yes.
Now, most of the dinosaurs can talk.
Yes,
but
Dino can't.
Yeah. Dino...
He just makes little yippee noises, which was voiced by Mel Blanc of Looney Tunes fame, actually.
Weird.
And they use Mel Blanc's voice from the TV show in this movie, actually.
Oh, that's weird. Why?
Yeah, 11 years after he died, too.
Cast a new fucking actor. Oh,
seriously, to make Dino noises?
They had to call his estate. They had to bother his wife. Be like, hey, we blew the budget on fucking prop ribs. We can't afford to hire an intern to make Dino noises.
And over at Mel Blanc's wife's house, the phone rings. She's like, Bugs, take the carrot out. The phone's ringing.
Jesus.
I have a vivid imagination. I can't stop.
Yeah, it's a curse. I'm familiar. Really I suffer from a similar
it's
curse.
A pox on my house.
Dino is to the Flintstones universe what Pluto is to the Mickey Mouse universe, where even though like animals are anthropomorphic and can talk and shit, Dino is like basically a special child that they treat like a dog. It's always really bothered me.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, not like, you know, last episode, the innocent people thing in movies bother me, but like, he's just a dog, but all the other dinosaurs are like perfectly sentient, and what they do is like a job. Like the dinosaur who's a lawnmower, he'll look at the camera and go like, it's a living, and the bird who's like the clock, it's like a job to them. But Dino is like they treat him like a dog. It's like having a special needs child and just treating it like a dog. It's weird. I don't know.
But I don't know. But you have a dog in real life and you're okay with it.
But he's actually a dog.
Self-actualized through a career.
He doesn't talk or have sentience. I love him, but he's dumb as hell.
Well, yeah, Dino's dumb too.
I guess. If I had a small human who just barked and ran around on all fours and ate everything in sight,
I would pay good money for that.
Human trafficking corner.
Not for sexual reasons, I swear to God. But no, just if you had a little human that acted like a dog, how great would that be?
Oh man,
I don't know.
Sociologists everywhere clutching their hearts.
All right, so we get a montage of the two happy young couples double dating. They're taking photos, they're water skiing, they're mini golfing. It's dumb, and I hate it.
This takes place in the Stone Age, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
he's not being funny. They're taking pictures and playing mini golf.
Yeah. So we get the gag of Fred and Wilma, the lovebirds, imagining their future. So we see Fred's actual thought bubble, where it zooms in, and he imagines Wilma mowing the lawn while he's sitting on a lawn chair or whatever. And Wilma shoots him a look because she can see his imagination, and her thought bubble pops up, and she imagines Fred mowing the lawn while she comes out of the house swollen with child with a glass of lemonade.
Okay.
Yep. Wilma and Betty are doing facials. And what are you imagining?
What's popping into my head is just two women at mirrors, like powdering their faces. Now, I assume in this case I'm trying to think of how to make this Stone Agey.
It's not. I thought your brain would go to facials like cum shot facials.
Oh.
Because that's where my brain is. But
no, I'm trying to follow the plot here.
Oh boy, buckle in. It's a hell of a plot. No, it's like
well, now I'm thinking about it.
Good. It's like the cucumber eye thing where they got that black shit on their face. Yeah, it's not blackface. It's a pore cleanse. I don't know, man. I'm not. I don't take care of myself.
I don't know anything about fashion, yeah.
So Wilma's bitch mom shows up, and she's ready to pull Wilma out of this riffraff and take her home because her dad's birthday is coming up. Whatever. Wilma holds her ground, but says she'll come to the party because she has a decent relationship with her dad. So all four of the double dating quartet are going to the party. We see Fred and Barney in tuxedos, which are sleeveless black one-piece, like, almost vest dresses.
Yeah,
all their clothes are sleeveless. But they have oversized white shirt cuffs on their wrists like bracelets. It's so stupid looking. Oh god, I hate it. Fred shows Barney that he's gotten an engagement ring for Wilma, but the stone is very small because he's very poor. Har har. We cut to the birthday party at the lavish estate. We get the gag where Fred thinks the parking valet is trying to steal his car. And interestingly, the valet is played by the guy who's not Kal Penn from Harold and Kumar. I don't know his name.
Oh, weird.
But yeah, the Asian one, not the Indian brown one. Anyway, best part of the movie, and I really do mean this. Best part of the movie, for about 2 seconds, we see in full regalia a chimpanzee playing a piano. It's great.
It's a real chimpanzee?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
I know, it made me very happy.
I love monkeys doing human things.
It's great. Well, that's basically what having a little human running around would be like.
We should get monkeys.
Yes. What size monkeys?
I don't know. However big I can smuggle into the country in my asshole.
I feel like a spider. Well, spider monkey is the standard little pet monkey, but
no, I want like a little. I want like a little chimp running around and can like get me glasses of water and play the piano. Exclusively those two things.
So Wilma's dad is a senile old war veteran. He has a bunch of the gags where he randomly starts saluting people that aren't there. And
can I interject for a second?
Sure.
War veteran.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if he's really a war veteran. I don't know of a war that happened.
It's just, you've opened a fascinating world of Flintstones politics that I now very deeply want to... You know how, like, we're getting this new trend where we kind of, what's the term? Modernize, or I want to say this adultize, even though it's not a word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
These old like Riverdale is what I'm coming to mind. How Riverdale is kind of like this. It's based on Archie, which is like the most goody two shoes of goody two shoes comic books. And Riverdale is kind of like the PG-13 version. I want to see Flintstones politics in like the front line of the Flintstones war. Do they have guns? Is it just clubs?
I guess it'd be clubs and dinosaurs. Maybe a fire-breathing dinosaur.
Oh my fucking! I'm a little hard now.
Hey, write some fan fiction.
Let's write that TV show and pitch it to. We'll just call it Bedrock. Let's just glom onto the Riverdale fame. All
right, I'm on board. It's gonna be rated NC-17 if I help write it.
Oh yeah, well I mean facials for everybody.
That'll be the subtitle. Bedrock facials for everybody.
Let's just write a porn. Let's just do it. I know that we have the capabilities of doing it.
Actually, that might be the best career choice for me.
It really, we could do it. We really could. I mean, I don't need to be in it. I'm not, I have no problem with that. But we could write it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Let's make a parallel running podcast to this. Just of us writing a porn.
We could film a mock-up where everyone's fully clothed. Or that's the whole thing. It's just a porn, but everyone's wearing clothes. And then we can put it on YouTube.
That's true. No, I feel like I'd still get pulled.
We'll use different... I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, so...
Dry humping corner.
Wilma's mom snubs Fred and introduces Chip to Wilma again. She's like, "Oh, Wilma, come see Chip. He's made so much more money." Because she wants her to fuck him and make babies that are rich. I don't know.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Chip makes fun of Fred because he works at the rock quarry. And then Chip announces to all his rich friends around about how pathetic and poor Wilma's date is. At which point, Fred shrinks down until he's about 2 feet tall.
Okay, cartoons do not need to be made in real life.
Exactly.
It really...
And the next time we see him, he's normal size, of course. Right. Okay, so... Meanwhile, we see back at Fred's house, Dino, who is chained to a tree, pulls the tree up by its roots, and drags it on the chain and goes to find Fred, wherever he may be. Meanwhile, Wilma gets a pearl necklace from her dad, and Larry, I know how you're going to take that, but he comes on her neck.
And he gives her some jewels.
Yeah, he gives her if you've seen the show, her typical giant pearl necklace that she's always wearing, and it's super valuable, and she loves it because it's from her dad, and she actually loves her dad instead of her bitch mom. Okay, Chip makes a toast at the big dinner table, saying how beautiful Wilma is. And not to be outdone, Fred wants to make a toast as well, and it's awkward, and that's where he and Barney do the, I'm just a lowly guy, I work at the rock quarry, and I'm a member of whatever that stupid club is, I can't remember.
The Secret Order of the Water Buffalo.
Oh, thank you, yes.
That might not be right, but I know it's Water Buffalo,
no,
that's all I know.
I'm pretty sure that's right. And in the middle of the toast, Dino bursts into the room and drags the tree down the entire stretch of the dinner table before jumping on Fred, and everything's ruined.
I'm so bored. I'm not even watching it, and I'm bored.
I know. It's so. Ugh. Mom is furious, tells Fred to get out. Wilma, Betty, and Barney go with him. And there's the whole sub thing where Betty's upset at Wilma because Wilma's actually rich and kind of deceived her and made her think she was poor, even though that was fucking stupid Betty's mistake. And
if you told me, you and I mean, we've been friends for 10 years, but if you came out and told me not long after I met you that you were horribly rich, I'd be like, oh shit, cool. Invite me over. Let's do rich people stuff. Why would he be mad? Why would she be mad about that?
Well, because Betty, because she's an imbecile, assumed that Wilma was poor and homeless and bought her lunch and took her into her house, and they became roommates and got her a job and everything.
Yeah, because that's how friendship works.
Yeah, great writing. Chip comes out as they're leaving and congratulates Fred as the better man who truly deserves Wilma's heart. Nothing nefarious going on there. He invites the four of them to a fabulous weekend at his resort in Rock Vegas.
Oh man, Viva Rock Vegas.
God, they have that song.
What?
Yes. Viva Rock Vegas. The whole Viva Las Vegas, but rock instead. They play it twice.
They
a
licensed
long time twice.
They licensed that song?
Yes, they did.
And made their own version.
Yes, they did.
Oh, I'm gonna pause and go to YouTube and listen to that 5 times in a row.
Wilma is hesitant at this invitation, but Fred gets literal dollar signs for eyes and pictures the giant engagement ring he can buy Wilma, because he'll be just as good and rich as Chip.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get a Viva Rock Vegas montage with the song, and they're flying in on a giant pterodactyl, and they're riding in a limo, and the whole thing's complete with bad crossfades and Stone Age themed casinos with dice and fountains and recycled footage.
Oh, my only complaint.
I know how much you hate recycled footage, Larry. I'm glad I suffered through it and you didn't have to.
Yeah, long story short, blah, blah, blah. I hate recycled footage. It's my only complaint is recycled footage.
The only time he ever complains, it's about recycled footage.
It's
I don't know
true.
if you noticed.
It's true.
So we're at poolside, and Fred cannonballs into the pool, and guess what happens?
He gets rid of all the water in the pool.
Yeah. And people go flying, and we get a Wilhelm scream and all of that shit. And he's sitting at the bottom of the empty pool.
No.
Chip is watching the quartet go around the casino and resort on the security cameras that he has in the Stone Age casino.
Why?
And he has a remote control, which is a little box that opens up, and a bird flies out of it and presses the buttons that Chip once pressed. Okay,
that's a gag that I like.
Yeah, but it gets racist later.
No. Oh, no.
But passively racist. It's not. He's not wearing a Klan hood or anything. But
I was just.
It's a little uncomfortable in 2018.
I was thinking of the episode of Futurama with the zookeeper who has the hawk fetch the diamond that's 4 inches away from him. And right, I didn't expect it to get racist.
Yeah, and this is weird, too. Hanging on Chip's wall in his office is the painting The Scream by Edvard Munch. You're familiar with that painting?
Yeah.
Yeah, most people are. And guess what the gag with the painting is?
Okay.
There isn't one.
Yeah.
It's just The Scream.
Wait, is it like the painting? Obviously, they don't mean to apply it's the original, but they haven't bedrocked it in any way?
Nope. Which is extra weird because there's a Flintstones themed Nighthawks and American Gothic. But The Scream is just totally normal.
But...
Which is really weird.
But why?
I don't know.
No, does someone just really like the Scream?
I guess. I don't know, man. It's weird. What's happening?
Okay. Fucking don't think about it. It's the Flintstones. Don't try and fucking figure it out. Just... Jesus.
Gazoo pops up in in Chip's office. Of course, no one can see him, because Fred and Barney aren't there. But he's witnessing things. A couple of thugs appear. One of them is a big, bald, 6'5" muscular guy. And the other one is the actor who plays Mickey from Seinfeld. Which, if you're not familiar, is a little person. And he's one of my favorite people in the world.
I forgot. I was trying to figure out who Mickey was. Yeah.
So fun. He's Kramer's friend, who's an actor and a stand-in.
He's great.
His episodes are always so good.
They really are.
And he's the talking head, and the other guy's the muscle, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So he's fine in this role. He gets 2 minutes of screen time. But aside from the chimpanzee playing piano, I was okay with this. It's dumb, but I'm okay with it.
Can you now? Can we get him and the chimpanzee doing a duet?
Ooh, that'd be a good duo.
We have written a better movie already. Just
every time we do it every time.
Christ.
So we find out Chip is in fact deeply in debt for building the casino. He's Donald Trump, more or less, and his only hope is to marry Wilma by midnight and therefore be rich enough to pay off the debt. And Mickey threatens to break his legs or something. I don't know, whatever. So there's your plot.
Jesus Christ.
Betty says that Barney makes her feel like the only girl on this whole flat Earth, and that's how the bullshit conspiracy got started. It's all this movie's fault. I'm so angry.
Yeah, when you look at the flat earthers websites, they're showing angles from this movie to prove that in the shots the Earth is flat, the horizon's flat.
I actually went on the Wikipedia page for flat Earth conspiracies, and it gained serious traction in the 1950s. So this was not actually what brought it back.
Yeah, I guess we can't joke too much because the flat earthers are a real thing. It's not something you can poke fun at anymore. They're like a movement now.
The way they envision the geography of the flat Earth is North Pole at the center, and then 150-foot tall ice ring around the edge, which is Antarctica.
It just doesn't. It doesn't. Fuck it. I can't argue with those people. I want to meet one in real life. I want to have someone explain to me. I want to meet one in real life. I want to buy him coffee and dinner, and I assume
they have conventions. You could go to the convention.
Oh, I want to do that. I'm sure they probably frisk you at the door and ask you basic science questions to see if you're fucking capable of getting in there.
What's more important, geometry or potato chips?
Geometry out, sir!
We cut to Fred at the craps table with a huge pile of chips. They're actually clams. Clam shells, not living clams.
But why?
I don't know.
Is that? I think was that maybe because when the TV show was made, 50 clams? See, was that because clams is kind of a old timey slang for money.
Yeah, it's bucks or humdingers. Is humdingers a thing?
I thought a humdinger was a blowjob, and I'm not being funny. I really thought that's what that meant. Did it not?
No, I don't know for sure.
Oh, I also thought that diddling was fisting, so drop my phone.
Humdinger sounds more like you just put your lips on the bottom of someone's shaft and just vibrate, like you're humming. Anyway.
I wouldn't say no to a humdinger. I mean, I might not go out of my way for it. It's like flipping channels, but if it came on, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can't complain. So Barney tries to convince Fred to cash out, But Fred says, no, Barney, you fucking twat. You fucking imbecile. I'm winning because I'm lucky and I'm talented at gambling. And I have to buy Wilma a whole new lifestyle, just like Chip, because that's what she values, obviously. Gazoo appears...
And he does this at the craps table, okay.
Gazoo appears and reveals the plot of the movie, that Chip is fixing the gambling in favor of Fred to entice him, and he should stop now before the hammer drops.
How does Gazoo know this?
He was in the office, listening in on the goons.
Okay, I must have missed that. Okay.
So, Chip comes up, and Barney's still trying to tell Fred to cash out. So Chip tries to...
So Fred... Wait, Fred ignores the fucking alien spaceman.
Yes.
He's a spaceman!
Yeah.
You don't ignore spacemen!
I feel like I'd probably ignore a spaceman, at least at first.
You would? What are you...
I don't know if they have my best interest at heart.
It's a fucking spaceman! He told me to jump off a bridge, and I couldn't do it fast enough. He's from space! He knows more than I do.
Yeah, but that might not end well for you.
Who fucking cares? I'll go down in history as the first man to die because of a spaceman.
Alien shows up, meets Larry Beard for the first time, and he's like, oh, I wonder what humans look like on the inside. Hey, Larry, jump off that bridge. That's the fastest way to accomplish that task.
I might have 2 questions, but I'm still going to do it.
You're insane. You're a madman. Don't trust aliens, people, especially children.
Kids,
they're probably not aliens.
Kids,
they're probably
if a spaceman comes down from space and tells you to do something, you do it. He's from space. He's like a grown-up, but from space.
So Chip decides to distract Barney by having a supermodel, which Barney's not interested in her at all because he loves Betty, but the supermodel says she's going to take him to an all-you-eat buffet. And Barney's like, oh boy, food, even though he's the skinny one and Mark Addy's whatever. Oh, and yeah, by the way, Barney's played by Stephen Baldwin. Yeah. Who you might know from The Usual Suspects, and nothing else, because he's an ass clown. I hate him. He's fine in that movie.
The Usual Suspects is a great movie. Also, we mentioned that twice in 2 weeks.
Yeah. But Stephen Baldwin's a piece of shit. Anyway, allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, he actually pretended to be a spaceman and told Isaac to suck his dick. Why do you think he's so vehement about not listening to spacemen?
When I found out he wasn't a spaceman, I was mildly offended. Then Barney's off at the buffet. Chip invites Fred over to the high rollers table, and Fred keeps winning. So he's super excited. Wilma and Fred then get in a fight because she comes up and asks him, oh, we should go to the zoo or get massages.
The famous Vegas Zoo.
Yeah, maybe. She wants to spend time with him instead of just him gambling.
Sure.
When Chip sees this, I guess Chip scurried back to his office. He's watching on the video camera. He pulls the screen off the wall, and behind it is a giant lever. Like a 3-foot lever. Like the Frankenstein switch you pull down.
Uh-huh.
I guess... I can't even make you guess. The options of the lever are win and lose. And he switches it from win to lose. And Fred starts losing.
Jeez.
It's so dumb. Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Okay.
Betty goes to find Barney, and he's eating at the table with the supermodel, and he's eating like crazy, just shoving stuff in his mouth. So he happens to accidentally knock a pie into her face and chest. So when Betty comes up, from her angle, it looks like Barney is generously massaging the supermodel's breasts in public, in a restaurant, mind you.
Uh-huh.
But in reality, he's just trying to wipe off the pie that he got on her. But Betty just sees this and runs away. And she starts crying, and she's sitting next to a fountain where she meets Alan Cummings' other character, Mick Jagged, the lead singer of the Stones.
Oh, they're not rolling. Yeah.
No, just the stones.
God,
Jagged rock. Yeah.
that is such a stretch. Is it played by Mick Jagger?
No, it's played by Alan Cummings.
Oh, you said that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Right.
he's wearing throughout the entire movie, because he keeps appearing, he's wearing a giant fluffy coat of the Yukon Jack, the England flag.
Jesus Christ.
I guess the UK flag, but whatever.
So England exists.
Yes, and he's very British, and he does the hands on his hips and struts out the Mick Jagger shit, and his lips are all stupid. Look, Mick Jagger, it's dumb. God, I hate it.
Oh, fuck's sake.
So Chip and Wilma encounter each other at the front desk. Chip says she should store her special pearl necklace in the casino safe because there have been recent robberies. So she wipes the cum off her neck and yeah.
Jesus, we're Luddites of the highest order.
I know. Chip then goes up to Fred, who has amassed over $1 million in debt, and threatens him and says that if Fred never speaks to Wilma again, he'll forgive him the debt. But otherwise, his life is ruined. So Fred calls bullshit, and he's going to go tell Wilma everything. But then Chip pulls an alarm that causes the casino to shut down, and everyone's, locked in. And Chip announces, there's a criminal in our midst. And instantly a bunch of people... And this gag could be good if you did it right, but they don't. Not really, at least. He says there's a criminal in our midst, to which a bunch of people just start confessing to the crimes they've done. I stole all the towels from my hotel room, and I'm wearing someone else's underwear. It's just...
Weird.
Yeah. And then a guy stands up and says, I've been systematically poisoning the water supply in order to kill all the dinosaurs within 10 years.
All right, that's pretty good.
no one cares. Everyone's just like, okay.
That's a pretty good gag.
When that comes up again, you'll see. Then Chip asks Fred to empty his pockets, and Fred is glad to do so, but he pulls out Wilma's stolen pearls, because Chip had slipped them into the pocket when no one was looking. Chip then announces Fred's massive debt, and that he's broke, and he needed to steal the pearls in order to whatever. Wilma looks heartbroken. Chip tries to swoop in and comfort her, but she runs away. And then Barney runs up to Fred's defense and says, no, Fred's so stupid, he could never steal the diamonds. Pearls. And, yeah, he can't even remember the locker or the combination to his bowling locker, and he would never be able to get into it if it weren't for me. And that is grounds to arrest both of them.
Of
because
course.
Barney just admitting to be an accomplice.
Right. Oh, God.
So they're both in jail. We cut to Mickey from Seinfeld tightening a clamp on Chip's head in the office. He says, a little birdie told me that you're not even dating Wilma, and you're supposed to marry her tonight, so you better marry her or shit's gonna get real. At this point, the bird remote pops out, and I'm not doing a bit. This is what it sounds like. Hey, I might be out of a job tomorrow. Brother's gotta have a little nest egg, you dig?
Oh, Jesus.
So, it's not that bad, but it's weird. It's weird.
Okay. Are there any black people in the movie?
No.
Well, I guess that was their little
Wait, maybe one of the security guards is black.
Oh,
but
okay,
there's a dearth of black people.
Yeah. That's definitely.
Yeah. That. Okay, so the boys are in jail, and Gazoo shows up. Gazoo says, because he's a spaceman, he's not allowed to interfere with affairs on Earth.
See, I'd be fine.
No, you're getting turned inside out for spaceman science. I tell you that now, Larry.
You know what? I'll be in their textbooks forever. That's a win. What have I fucking accomplished up to this point?
Well, apparently when you turn a human inside out, there's a couple of cheeseburgers in there.
If you look here, you'll see the toxic shame gland. Not usually this enlarged on humans, but this one was a special case.
And you see all the pink stuff? Well, that's clearly hate.
Yeah. So much that we lost some bringing it back up to the spaceship.
It ran away enraged. So, yeah, Gazoo says he can't interfere, but he conjures up a projector. Kind of like... It's not... I don't know what... It's a projector, and he plays the scene to Barney and Fred of Chip saying his plan in the office. So then everyone's sad and hopeless, and they all start
That sounds
crying.
like interfering to me.
It won't. Just wait and see. Everyone gets sad, starts crying. Barney slips through the bars of the cell and grabs a box of tissues from the guard's desk and brings them back to the cell and hands them out to everyone.
No, classic comedy. Whatever.
Yep, and then Fred says, "You knucklehead, you can fit through the bars." He says it like that.
Low-hanging fruit. It's not tasty, but it fills you up. Poop!
Barney goes back to steal the keys from the guard who is, of course, sleeping at his desk. But Barney stubs his toe, makes a noise, the guard wakes up, and then Gazoo, who can't interfere, interferes by sneezing and causing something heavy to fall on the guard's head and knock him out.
And give him irreparable brain damage.
Seriously. Fred and Barney dress up like Rockettes and go on stage with them. They've escaped the jail. And zaniness ensues as they try and fail to dance. And
of course it had to be Rockettes
them.
because,
Yeah.
right. Couldn't be like Blue Man Group.
Well, they don't call them the Rockettes, so they don't even go for that joke. But...
You know it was like a low-level joke. Like the intern who wrote the joke I mentioned before, same thing.
Right, yeah. They'll know. The people in the know, they'll know.
Yeah. Maybe I'm the first person in 18 years to pick that up.
Hopefully.
Put that in your alien textbooks.
The bodyguards recognize them fairly quickly, and then we get a zany chase through the casino while they're still dressed up as women. They barge into Mick Jagged's room, where he's about to give Betty the dick. Not really. They're sitting on a couch, like, flirting. But, yeah, it's getting a little steamy in there. Fred just kind of runs off because he's got to fix things with Wilma. But Mick Jagged and Barney get in a stupid slap cat fight over Betty. And Barney ends up winning. And Mick Jagged's knocked out. And then Barney and Betty are in love again. It's fine.
Because that's how you win a person's love, kids.
Yep, and he doesn't explain what happened. It's just, "No, baby, I want you back. I'm willing to fight for you." "Oh, cool, I love you." Ugh. Yep. So Chip and Wilma are at a dinner table in the theater area, and he's putting the moves on her pretty heavy. He, like, interlocks their arms so they're drinking out of glasses with their arms, what that shit. Mickey and the giant thug are sitting a couple tables over and gesturing menacingly toward Chip. So Chip asks Wilma to marry him, and she tells him to cram it out his ass. Then the Stones come on stage, but instead of Mick Jagged, it's Fred as the lead singer.
Yep, of course it is. Why wouldn't it?
And the band members look confused, but then kind of just look at each other and be like, fuck it, go with it, whatever, we're British rock band, whatever. Wilma's mom, who happens to be there, does a literal spit take when she sees Fred.
I love to see you suffer, but for the first time I feel bad for making you watch this, because it doesn't even sound like suffering, it just sounds like I wasted your time.
Yeah, this did not make me angry. Like, my last two movies, Perfect Sisters definitely made me very angry. Yoga Hosers was more confused, angry, and sad that Kevin Smith has degenerated into a blob of gray matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't hate this movie. I just, I felt dirty and used and bored.
I'm sorry. I feel like I touched you inappropriately.
I felt like a prostitute just laying back and taking it for like the 11th time that day, just staring out the window of the Motel 6 at the McDonald's sign because she's thinking about the fillet of fish she can finally afford.
Jesus. That got fucking dark. Oh, wow. I didn't feel bad before. I certainly do now. Jesus.
Okay. So, yeah, Fred sings a love song to Wilma. Then he comes up to the table and says, Wilma, I did a lot of stupid things. But love makes you do stupid things. And I love you. Problem solved. They're back in love. No explanation that the necklace was a plant at all.
Yeah, anyway.
So she just keeps assuming... she's like, hey, I'm sorry I got in horrible debt and stole your treasured jewelry. But I love you, which is why I did. Like, what?
If you stole... forget it. What? Don't fucking it's the Flintstones. Who cares? Who cares? Who fucking cares? Fun for the whole family.
Fred gets down on one knee and starts stammering because he's too nervous to propose. We get more humming. Gazoo pops in and kicks him in the ass, and then he asks her to marry him. And as soon as he asks, the guy, you'll love this, the guy who said he's slowly and systematically poisoning the dinosaurs pops up and asks if anyone cares about his genocide, to which everyone shouts, shut up! And then Wilma says, yes! And Fred literally floats 6 feet up into the air, twinkles his toes around, and floats back down to the ground, and they embrace.
You think they strung up Mark Addy on wires for that shot? That shot was probably like a $9,000 shot. Like, realistically. Like, getting the talent there, getting the wires, getting them hung up like that. $9,000 shot for that, probably. For Robert Baratheon to be suspended to twinkle his toes.
Oh, and
for those of you with foot fetishes or want to know what Robert Baratheon's feet look like, look no further.
Another stupid scene I glossed over because it was dumb. But when he starts losing, we see him on the craps table, shrunk down on the table, like 3 inches tall, and running in a panic to avoid the dice, which are coming after him.
What the fuck?
So, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Cartoon movie, man. And then, I know you think they made a lot of money with the first movie, and that's why they wanted to do the second movie. But that's not true. Mm-hmm. There's one reason, and one reason alone, they wanted to do this movie, and why it had to be a prequel. Because we cut to the wedding, and the Justice of the Peace says, Fred, do you take Wilma to be your lawfully wedded wife? And, Larry, what does Fred say?
I yabba dabba do.
Yes. That is the only reason this movie exists.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right 1,000 times right. Oh, fucking God. Oh. No.
Okay, so...
yeah, but don't want to hear anymore.
This is the end of the movie, and I'm going to read this next paragraph word for word.
Oh, good.
Because usually, while I'm watching the movie, I'll have my phone on voice to text, and I'll just kind of dictate like the plot and like a couple of thoughts I have as I'm going along, just so I can get some raw notes kind of in time and not be sitting there typing. And then I'll go back, print that out, take a look at it, and type up a formal review where I punch up some jokes and cut some stuff and whatever, and then get rid of any stupid voice to text mistakes. This one, I couldn't figure out what I was trying to say. Usually I can, or I can go back to the scene and figure it out, but this one I didn't know, so I'm just going to read it. It starts off okay, but it gets weird at the end. Anyway. So, movie ends with a big Stones music number where the whole cast dances. Fred and Wilma drive away with Dino in the honeymoon fuck machine. I don't know why Dino is going on a honeymoon. They might get a December. We're done with her penetration. So, the only guess I have is a December is a dinosaur.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Dino is going on a honeymoon. They might get a December. We're done with her penetration. It was a Dino's gonna fuck her joke.
No, I don't know. I know you. I know your mind works. She might get dinosaur. after her penetration. That's what your joke was.
I was not that clever, but that's good.
No, does that mean it's my joke? Oh, fuck!
Yeah.
Okay, now, in case you haven't figured it out, Isaac is in fact married. I am not. So, since you have more experience in that arena, would you kind of tell me what a honeymoon fuck machine is? Is that why your wife's in a wheelchair?
It's the car you drive away from the wedding in. Because you're going to Fucktown.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm on board.
But yeah, Dino's in the car with them, going with them on their honeymoon, which is bizarre.
What? Yeah. Is he involved?
Lara, I was just kidding. A honeymoon fuck machine, that's a wife. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't mean it. I kind of mean it. But
whenever we record, I imagine your wife is just sitting on the couch just glaring at you.
Oh, very stern. I'm glad she can't wheel over here because her fingers are mangled.
You know, if you'd stop smashing them in the door, they'd heal and she could use them.
Yeah, well, shut up, Larry. You're revealing my plan.
Stop smashing them in the door of the honeymoon fuck machine.
Never catches on either. It's always like, oh, Hannah, can you hold the door open for me? Like hundreds of times.
Sorry, Kate.
Oh, God. Okay, so we do have something more to glean from this movie. And it's time to go to school. Do you have your propeller beanie on, sir?
I'm never seen in public without it.
How are you going to explain that one to the spaceman?
It's for flight. I'm going to fly off this cliff.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you fly off that bridge, Larry?
Whee!
Okay. So here is the master's thesis. What may at first seem a low pass at cashing in on nostalgia with a shoddy facade of family entertainment is actually a salient skewering of modern consumerism in a neo-capitalist society. To pick up a 7-10 split, Fred shatters his bowling ball in half, playing on the notion that achievement and success are worth any material price. Indeed, the only way Fred can learn the lesson that true love does not have a price tag is through becoming rich and then poor again. This proves that the only way we can comprehend the world is through dollars and cents, even when we try to be virtuous. Finally, the use of Munch's The Scream is a thinly veiled protest of stark horror in the midst of this film, and hopefully, the next time the moviegoer looks into the mirror, he too will see dollar signs for eyes.
Jesus. Why is it The Scream?
I don't know. It's really weird.
Also, what happens to the Great Gazoo? Does he watch him fuck? Is that the extended cut?
No, he's just at the party. The Viva Rock Vegas. Oh yeah, that's the song they play for the big dance number at the end.
Of course.
And it's like the whole cast is in a conga line, and the Rockettes are. Oh god, damn it!
I want to look at the lyrics for Viva Rock Vegas.
It's exactly the same.
Oh, they just changed rock?
I think it's exactly the same, but Loss is replaced with rock.
That's it?
I'm pretty sure. I don't really know the lyrics of that song, but I don't remember thinking, oh, they really Flintstoned this one up.
Yeah, when I looked it up, it's the same lyrics. That's so, they didn't even try.
Lord. Good Lord.
That's lame. Although on Genius, which I use to look up lyrics all the time, the actual song by Anne Margaret, whoever she is well, wait, no, it was an Elvis song. Never mind, ignore me. Forget it. It was Elvis. I forgot.
All right, well,
I'm really sorry for the first time.
Yeah.
Episode 8. I'm actually sorry I made you watch that.
It was a drag.
I mean,
it was a long haul.
Yeah, Code of Honor was a drag because it was long as shit. But like, at least I was so baffled that I was engaged in some way.
Yeah, that's one word. I was never engaged, except for the chimpanzee with the piano. I saw that up and I just perked up. I was like, "Oh boy!"
I do want to see that.
I think it's around minute 8:30,
All
give
right.
or take.
All right.
So right when they arrive, the four of them arrive at the fancy house.
In my head, he's playing like a very slow piano music, and there's another chimp in a spangled dress smoking a cigarette laying on the piano.
Not that good, but it's still a treat.
Well, that'll be my masturbation for the evening.
That's another podcast.
If you haven't jerked off to a chimp in a spangled dress, you don't know what you're missing. Masturbation corner?
No, masturbation for the evening.
Oh, that's a good one.
With starring your host, Isaac and Larry.
What do we do? What's the impetus? What's the premise of that podcast?
Just describing various things we have been masturbating to lately.
I mean, the sad thing is we could do that. We really could.
It would just be porn review.
Pretty much. That seems so... fuck, let's not give away $1 million idea. $1 million in the world's largest air quotes.
Oh, the $1 million question, Larry, of the Times. Have you, and we might have talked about this, I forget, have you sampled Miss Stormy Daniels' work?
I have not. I didn't know who she was at all until the whole thing with our president came about. I looked her up to see what she looked like, to see if I recognized her, if I recognized her nether regions just from seeing her face. I don't, so I may have to
that
now.
Was the same situation. I watched a few moments, but not in an engaged fashion, shall I say. But yes.
Now he's delicate. Yeah, all right.
Oh shit! I forgot because I was thinking of tentacle porn just now, and I forgot about the Rosie O'Donnell thing, where she has a cameo.
Do tell. I definitely want to think about Rosie O'Donnell getting railed by a bunch of tentacles, which is now what's in my head.
So, it's just a dumb throwaway joke. That's why I didn't write it down in the review. But then I learned it was Rosie O'Donnell's cameo, so... but Wilma and Betty are getting...
tentacle fucked.
Fancy massages from an octopus who is voiced by Rosie O'Donnell.
Weird.
And the joke... whatever, there's like... Oh, this feels so... Wilma says, oh, this feels so good. I'm getting rid of so much tension. And the octopus says, you have tension. I just found out what calamari is.
Oh. So let's I want to unpack that. Rosie O'Donnell, in the movie 6 years prior, played Betty, one of the leading roles in air quotes. And they're like, well, we're not going to bring you back for that.
No. Okay, I have a theory on what happened.
Yeah, I'm interested.
So the producer of the movie just called up Rosie O'Donnell with a little tape recorder next to the phone. And he said, hey, I have a lot of tension. And she said, you have tension. I just found out what calamari is. And they're like, great, we'll use it. We'll figure out something.
They didn't want to pay her for that, so it's credited as Dozie O'Ronald.
Dozie O'Ronald? That's a great name, Dozie O'Ronald.
Why did maybe when they had her sign her contract for Flintstones 1, they were like, well, this is gonna be a big hit, see? We're gonna put a rider on here that we gotta include you in Flintstones 2. And 6 years later, they're like, oh shit.
That's very possible. When we write our porn, can the lead actress be named Dozie O'Ronald?
Yeah, but I think the
and
real...
like she's a narcoleptic, and then... But then we could make it really interesting, because people have to dance around narcolepsy and consent, and then there could actually be, like, oh, well, she just passed out. This is an uncomfortable situation. I should probably pause until she regains consciousness.
See, This is why we haven't written a porn yet, because you're immediately making it controversial. We haven't picked out a lineup of cocks and vaginas, and you're already making it controversial.
No, not controversial. I'm trying to help the plight of women with, like, date rape and stuff, where it's, you're having consensual sex with a narcoleptic, they fall asleep, and you might assume, well, she gave consent already, she's a narcoleptic, whatever, keep going. But it's like, no, that's not actually cool. You really should stop and just stand in the corner and jerk off till she wakes up, and then you're like, can we resume?
And you think that the best way to address that issue is two white guys writing a porn about it?
Yes, with the lead actress named Dozie O'Ronald.
He just... if you have any offended emails, write them to...
I'm trying to help.
Isaac
I can.
Yeah, so that's great. Come see our porn where there's regular porn sex happening, and she passes out, and you get to watch the guy jerk off in a corner looking at her, which is still problematic.
No, he probably pulls out his phone and watches porn. Maybe he even pulls the sheet over her naked body.
Welcome to Sensitive Issues Corner. With your hosts White and Whiter.
Oh, that's a good tag name for us.
With your hosts Cis and Gender.
If you get a third member, he can be named Scum.
It's true.
Oh, man. Okay, so we have suffered enough this cycle over the last 2 weeks. I think we should find out what we're in store for the next 2 episodes.
Yep, so yeah, it's that time again.
What are you gonna make me watch?
Now, yeah.
Or do I do you first?
I forget how we did it last time. What was it?
I think we fucked it up last time, because I should probably do you first, because that's the next episode.
Yeah. Okay, do me first.
All right. Oh yeah, baby. Okay.
If you pick the movie that I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna kill myself live, and this podcast is gonna be fucking gold.
Not. You have an animated film.
Oh well,
computer animated film.
No.
Ostensibly for children.
Oh, God.
But, like, did you see Sausage Party?
Yeah, my sister and I went and saw it in theaters because my sister was so bored that she said, I have nothing better to do. Let's go watch Sausage Party. And she happened to catch me when I had nothing to do. And it was fucking awful, by the way, in case you were wondering.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't a good movie, but I enjoyed it. But anyway.
What? Welcome to episode 1 of our new podcast, Why Isaac is a Fucking Idiot.
It's dumb, funny, stupid comedy.
It's the stupidest comedy. I'll definitely grant you that.
This is why you hate Orgasmo and I'm fond of Orgasmo.
I thought you were going to say this is why you hate Orgasmo and I'm a genius.
But if you've seen a Pixar movie recently and Sausage Party, you might be able to tell that Sausage Party is not animated quite as well as Pixar.
No, particularly. I don't remember it being particularly striking. It's a fucking hot dog and a taco and other racist stereotypes on screen most of the time.
But on the grading scale of quality of animation, I would say recent Pixar movies, A+. They look amazing. You see individual hairs and water. It looks incredible. I know Moana's not Pixar, but just,
I was thinking of Moana. I know that's not Pixar. That's probably the most recent child movie I've seen, which, excellent film, by the way.
But, so those movies, A+.
Mm-hmm.
Sausage Party animation, on this scale, is an A.
Oh, no.
Your movie, for animation quality, is an F, sir.
You were fucking kidding me.
It is... I don't know how it was made. I think you might have to do a little research into the background of this. Just what the budget was, and if more than 3 people were involved making it.
Oh, no. No.
Your movie, sir, is called Leo the Lion.
That sounds like a child's Bible movie.
I don't think it's Christian-themed, but it's fairly knockoff Lion King.
No.
Roughly.
I'm pulling it up on Netflix right now.
Oh, it looks so bad.
Read the
my lord.
Description. My internet's down. My internet, my phone is going slow. Leo the Lion. God, how long is it? That's my first question.
It is only an hour and 17 minutes.
What the fuck? Oh, no! No, the animation looks bad.
Oh, yes, it does. It looks like crappy video game animation. Like, if this was a Wii game, I'd be okay with it.
Leo the Lion, 2013, rated TVY7. Eschewing the carnivorous ways of his fellow lions, Maverick Leo follows a vegetarian diet, causing the other lions to shun him. Alright, Isaac, I may have made you watch this at some point in the past. I don't remember. Have you heard of a movie called Food Fight?
No.
This looks like the kind of animation. For those, it's very internet famous, Food Fight, so I'm guessing that many of our listeners have probably heard of it. It's this movie where, like, it took 10 years to make, and it has, it stars Charlie Sheen, and it has a ridiculous number of, like, celebrities. Like, who's the... fuck, I can't think of his name. Doc Brown? What's Christopher Lloyd?
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd's in it. Tracy Morgan. I can't remember all the actors. Anyway, but it took 10 years to make. It's based around food brand names, like Mr. Clean is a character in it, and the Stork from the Dill Pickles is a character in it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But for those of you who haven't seen it, the animation style of this Leo the Lion, it looks just fucking like that. It's... Oh, no, this is not good. It's a child's movie. What am I going to talk about? I'm going to have to talk about, like, cum and blood and shit.
From the few minutes that I watched to get a taste of it, he's running around, and then they just don't have a background. He's just, like, in a barren, flat desert. And then next second he's in a jungle, because they couldn't bother to animate a savanna or a jungle for those few frames.
No, say this isn't happening.
It's happening.
Oh, God. Oh, well.
What?
All right. So.
What do I have?
Fuck you. First of all, fuck you.
Yeah.
I hate you.
I deserve it.
For those of you who don't know, who are just tuning in now to the end of this episode, first of all, you're an idiot. I love you, but you're an idiot.
How do you get to the end of a podcast first, you pile of slime?
So, do you remember a couple of weeks ago when you made me watch a movie called F the Prom?
Yeah.
And it wasn't good?
I remember.
And the history was that it was written by some guys who got famous for having a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They're not the only ones to foray off of the YouTube world into the mainstream media. And,
so we're getting some modern...
Oh, yeah. Are you familiar at all, Isaac, with used to be, I don't know if they still are, probably, very famous YouTube channel by the name of Smosh?
Oh, no, I was planning this for you.
Guess what? Fuck you.
This one for you
Smosh! The movie.
No. I watched the first 5 of this one.
Yes, so did I.
Oh,
and
God.
I want to once again thank my ex-girlfriend for tuning me into the fact that this movie both A, existed, and B, is on Netflix. Because I'm familiar with Smosh. I find them awful. The least funny people.
Yeah, when I first was getting into YouTube and I didn't really know much about it, one of my friends showed me Smosh, and I was much younger. I went through the phase of like, oh yeah, this is funny. This is what the internet's doing. All right, I'll get on board. And then just gradually, like didn't watch it for a couple months, then didn't watch it for a long time. Went back a couple years later. I was like, oh yeah, I'm subscribed to this. Oh, what is this? What is this?
Really shitty humor that's not funny except for a very specific age group, I feel like, that we are long past.
But I think they're our age, though, the actual Smosh guys.
Yeah, they are now.
Yeah. All right,
They've been doing
so
this for
from
a long
2015, this PG-13 movie, to keep his teen crush from spotting him in an embarrassing YouTube video, Anthony and his friend Ian must enter... Oh... No... must enter the virtual world and alter the clip. No. Larry, can we do take-backs?
Nope. Nope. Fuck you.
What if I let you watch Pulp Fiction next week? Oh, shit.
Yeah. Smosh the movie.
No. Empire Strikes Back? Did I give you that one?
So sorry. So we get to foray into your favorite pastime, teenagers.
Yeah, teenagers.
You forced my hand with Steven Seagal. I have to dip back into the very shallow well that is teenagers.
When you say shallow and teenagers, Larry, you're just asking for trouble from me.
Yeah, you're right.
I refuse on principle, sir. I do not know the depth of teenagers.
Oh, you'll learn.
Oh, God. Oh, shit. Well, thank you for making it along the ride with us. You just listened to the Bowels of Netflix, episode 8.
I'm sorry.
The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas. Ugh. And you got a taste of what's coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned, because those, I'm sure, are going to be interesting reviews. I'm very curious to learn more about Leo the Lion, and I'm not very curious to learn more about Smosh the movie. But yeah, you could find us on social media if you want. We have a Facebook and a Twitter. They're at Bowels of Netflix, so you could go twiddle us or poke us or whatever it is. We do have an email address. That's bowelsofnetflix@gmail.com. Remember, it's bowels, not bowls. We're really tired of dealing with that second email account, so please spell it right.
Yeah, I can only handle one email account at a time.
And it's mostly nudes. People keep sending nudes now. It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And not good nudes, just bad nudes. Bad angles, bad looking people, like... Yes. Dirty genitals? Like, ugh. Anyway.
Sending me meat spin over and over does not constitute having an intelligent joke.
Meat spin. Ooh.
I say that in hopes that there's a 14-year-old kid who's going to look that up and get banned from the computer for a week. We're going to lose a listener, by the way.
But yeah, if you want to write in a little more detail, let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, but please don't be too harsh. We have very fragile egos, and we might cry in a closet for several hours a day on the regular. And yeah, just, I don't know, whatever.
Cry in the street like a man.
Suggestions for terrible movies in the bowels of Netflix. If you got a really pithy email, we might read it on the air. And don't forget to rate and subscribe on iTunes or whatever podcasts thing you apprehend podcasts with. Only give us 5 stars. If you're going to give us less than 5 stars, go fuck yourself. Kevin MacLeod is the genius behind all the music you heard in this episode, and you can find all his stuff at incompetech.com. And in the description of this episode, you can find the full Creative Commons license with the track titles and stuff, so you could search it if you want. It's a really cool website. If you have any projects, you can use all his stuff royalty free. You just have to give him credit for it. Mm-hmm. And he is a master music maker. Musician. Yep, that would be the word for that.
How's that degree doing?
Degree? What?
The 3rd degree burns on your brain.
Oh my god. I have the stupidest story to tell at the end of the podcast. But,
oh, good.
Okay, I just started working in a grocery store because I have a philosophy degree. That's
I don't want to laugh at you, but when you put it like that.
Exactly. But so, I try to make small talk to customers, but I can only say, like, oh yeah, it's so hot today. Too many times, I'll just explode. So, any chance I get for something else. So I was ringing up this woman, maybe about my age, maybe a little younger. Her total came out to $3.11. $3.11. So it was, and I'm not really a fan of that band in particular, but a lot of people were from my era. So I asked, oh, did you like that band? And she, like, flipped out. She was like, oh my god, that's so crazy. It's my total. I went to all their concerts. I had posters on my wall. Oh, that's so cool. And then it was kind of busy, so the next lady in line is right behind her. Here's the whole conversation. 311 lady goes on about her merry day. Next lady comes up. I ring her stuff up. Her total's 9/11. I did not make any small talk with her.
So where were you? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I leaned in and whispered, jet fuel. Can't do it, man.
Never forget.
Oh, boy. Okay, thanks for sticking with us. Make sure to come back next week, because you'll be hearing about Leo the Lion. It's going to be a treat, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fucking I'm looking up details in the movie right now. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to talk about. So prepare for either... That means there's either going to be a half-hour episode or a 4-hour episode.
Hey, maybe we'll get your masturbation story a little early with this one. Who knows?
Wait, are we... what episode would that be? 9?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 episodes. Two of my episodes are going to tell a Juggalo story.
Okay. Like you're planning out the secrets to reveal.
I promised episode 11 I'd talk about Juggalos.
Okay, alright. Well, stick around for that. You get Juggalos, you get Leo the Lion. Well, no, that episode. I'm dumb. I'm a dumb man. Philosophy degree. I work in a grocery store.
You don't just work at a grocery store. You work on my
record
heart.
a podcast.
Yeah. You got it all figured out. You and me both.
On the road to success. I got dollar signs for eyes, Beard. I'm gonna make it.
He's got clams coming out of his dick hole.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lord.
All right. Well,
reel it in. Pull this train into the station.
Thank you for listening, and see you next week.
Thank you, folks. Smell you later.